Hello, this is Andre Tidwell from Peace Talks. I am one of your hosts here along with,
Alex Garrison.
And John Sullivan.
and today we're going to talk about football, Area 51, and anything else that comes on top of our brains today. So, John, can you start us off with history facts, sir?
Yeah, I've got a random history fact from today, September 20th. September 20th, 1939 was the first day that the Luftwaffe, the German Air Force, and Britain's Royal Air Force were involved in any type of aerial conflict during World War II. Some German ME or BF 109s, depending on where they were produced, attacked a flight of ferry battle bombers from England's Royal Air Force. The Royal Air Force lost 2 aircraft and the Germans lost 1. Very interesting beginning to the battle.
We need you need to get like a fancy music or something for every week when he does his history fact.
Oh, we're gonna work on beats. We're gonna
Brainstorm. We got to brainstorm after
yeah,
the
yeah.
podcast. We're gonna do
Oh yeah,
that.
for sure. I'll stick around and talk to Andre about some beat ideas.
history music or something.
Anything, like even just a nice beat for the beginning of the podcast in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Most definitely. So now moving on, we can talk Area 51 first if you want to go with that. Andre was looking at some stuff before we started the podcast, but today is the day that Area 51 was supposed to occur, that whole raid meme thing. Yeah. Some idiots did actually go. Let's hear about it, Andre.
Well, from what I've looked at, I've just came to the thought of people really would do anything nowadays.
They will, man.
And I seen this one video on Twitter. Have y'all ever watched Naruto?
Yeah.
Like he was doing the Naruto run across like with the news reporter. It was in the background. He was like,
oh yeah, that's how people said they were gonna get in. That's how they said they were gonna outrun the bullets. Yeah. They're gonna Naruto run.
Only person that could possibly dodge a bullet is Floyd Mayweather. That's the only person.
Bro, he's got the
Bruce
moves.
Lee.
Muhammad Ali in the day, he could have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that video of him dodging all those punches in the corner, you know the one I'm talking about where he's backed in the corner and he's just dodging left, right, uppercut, straight punch, everything. That's wild. But, yeah, no, the Area 51 thing, dude, you are right. People will legitimately do anything nowadays. I mean, there was a guy who got arrested in Texas for having an "I eat butt" sticker on his car. So, I mean, you were right when you said that people will do anything nowadays. I think it's because the earth is burning and drowning in plastic at the same time. So, like, people are like, we're not here for too much longer. So they just kind of want to ball out while they can. You know what I'm saying?
Or people are just going crazy, honestly.
Or that too. I mean, that could also
all the
be
plastics get into their brain.
I mean, if you drink a water bottle that's been left like in your car and it's just been soaking in there, the plastic will leach into the water. Yeah, like some actress or somebody got cancer. My mom always tells me that whenever she sees like a plastic water bottle in my car. She's like, remember, Mama got cancer. I'm like, I know, Mom. I know. I don't drink these.
Like thanks, I know.
I know. I'm just saving it to water a plant, Mom. And then the next time I get done at the gym or whatever, I get thirsty and I'm just like, all right, time to drink this now. But yeah, so Area 51, it's wild. There are some actual idiots in the desert there today. I wonder how close they're going to get to the fence before they're stopped. I think there's like a mile ring outside of the fence that you are not allowed to cross. But just the fact that people actually went and that the U.S. government had to, plan for this and probably honestly deploy a couple extra MPs, some military police out there to the desert to keep the peace, and hold the line in case some fool does actually decide to make a break for it and see them aliens. You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
I seen one of the dudes was actually like in the little interview.
Oh yeah,
just with the as always stone faced, of course. That's how they stand. They don't have no emotion. They stand with the gun.
The
helmet and the body armor.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm gonna go and look at some stuff after this podcast because that's just wild to me that people will actually go and do stuff like that nowadays. But all right, so we can move on now. We've got football. We'll run down the games and then Andre and I'll talk Antonio Brown. or Antonio Clown, depending on whether or not you're a Patriots supporter. I happen to be one, but I'm not leaning towards him at the moment, especially not with him texting that lady last night. But okay, anyways, so Thursday night football, we had the Jags versus the Titans. The Jags, despite Leonard Fournette not doing a thing at all, really, except for one run, he had 14 runs in the fourth quarter and 63 yards, and one of his runs went for like 50 yards. So if you take away that one run, that means the other 13 runs went for 17 yards. And that is not good. That means you just no. I mean, even Alex, who's claimed not to watch too much football, knows that is a bad thing. Not ideal, especially coming out of LSU with such hype. Everyone was expecting him to actually do something. On the other side of the ball, Marcus Mariota, he also much hyped quarterback out of Oregon, couldn't really get his offense going for the Titans. They ended up losing 20-7, like I said. We'll move on to Sunday. The Patriots at the Dolphins. This was a slaughter. My Patriots won 43-0. I feel a great sense of accomplishment, even though I did nothing to help them win. I appreciate it. Thank you, Andre. Thank you. Yeah. Pretty much nothing to talk about for this game. Obviously, 43-0 is just... Well, like I said, a slaughter. The Dolphins couldn't stop us. We could definitely stop them. Moving on to another beatdown. The 49ers destroyed the Bengals. I haven't paid attention to the Bengals since they got rid of my favorite tight end, Tyler Eifert from Notre Dame. Don't care about them. Chargers and Lions, it was close because both organizations are bad. 13-10. Lions won. Vikings, Packers, 21-16 Packers. Not really an interesting game either. Let's go down to the Rams versus the Saints.
Saints.
Yeah, Alex, your team. Did you watch this game?
I didn't. I was busy. I was working.
Okay, so you remember last year how they were going to go to the Super Bowl and then the missed call. So were you watching that game?
Of course.
Okay,
I was so
all right.
mad.
Well, this game featured a similar missed call situation.
I did hear that. I did hear about
feelings as a Saint fan.
Oh, that's it. That's my feeling.
Just a heavy sigh. All right, I understand that. And Drew Brees, also big news there, injures himself. What do you think of that?
Come on, Drew. We need you.
Yeah, he's out for at least 6 weeks.
Him.
He's having surgery sometime this week. He might have already had it. I'm not sure.
I'm a big Drew Brees fan.
Yeah,
Love me
so
some Drew Brees.
Taysom Hill will be switching spots with Teddy Two Gloves. Teddy Bridgewater came from the Bills, now working out of the Saints backfield. Let's see how he can do. He's Teddy Two Gloves because he throws wearing 2 receiver gloves, which, I mean, can add some distance to your throw, but also makes you less accurate.
I don't know.
We'll see about
Drew
that.
Brees, it's going to be a struggle.
Indeed. It will be a struggle.
Go Saints.
Go Saints. Woo. Yeah. Let's see who else this week lost quarterbacks. Big Ben of the Steelers goes down, as well as the Steelers going down to the Seahawks 28-26. But Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, all the old quarterbacks, the old faces of the league who got me into the NFL are slowly fading. Andrew Luck left early this season. Preseason, he retired. Drew Brees is injured now, and I don't think we'll ever see Ben Roethlisberger play football again. I just don't. Have you? Every year, his picture looks more and more like a picture of Santa Claus.
Yeah, it does.
Without a beard. He's just getting fatter every year. He's getting older every year.
Getting older.
He drinks more beers every year for sure. He's just... I gotta tell you, man, he's not. I don't think we will ever see him don the black and gold again. Sorry to Steeler Nation. Yeah, there wasn't too many other good games this weekend. I'm looking forward to week 3. My Patriots have the Jets, the 0-2 Jets, who are also fighting it out with the quarterback situation. It is not a good year for teams with quarterbacks. I mean,
apparently not.
Unless you're the Chiefs, the Patriots, or like the Panthers, I guess they have their guy, but I don't know. We'll see. Andre, who you a fan of?
I'm a Panthers fan, man.
You a Panthers fan?
I'm from here.
Who'd they have this weekend?
I don't even know because I don't even like watching football. So.
Oh, yeah? Let's see. Let me tell you. Hold on. I'm looking.
Right.
Did they even play this weekend? I don't think they did. Yeah, I don't see it. So they might have played week 1 on like Monday night or something. Who knows? The Panthers played the Rams week 1. They lost 27 to 30. That's just a close one to the Rams. I feel bad for you there. Yeah, I don't. They didn't play this weekend. They must have had a bye. Early season buys are the worst because you get all jacked up for football season. If you like watching the games, I guess, like me, you get all jacked up for football season, and then your team goes and does something weird like Notre Dame and has a Monday night game, and then they don't play the following Saturday because it's a short week, and then you got to wait like 2 weeks. I had to wait like 13 days between Notre Dame football. And let me tell you something, that was garbage. But it did result in just a thorough demolishing of New Mexico State. Or New Mexico, either one. But, all right, so I've broken down all of the football games from this weekend. I'm not going to talk what's going on next week. I'll just break down those games next week. Andre, you want to talk Antonio Brown with me for a second?
Let's do it.
All right, so I got an ESPN alert at like 2 a.m. Don't know who sent that one out. But it said that Antonio Brown was now also being charged with like witness tampering because he was talking to the girl who's accusing him. Like he sent her messages, which is just really hard to defend.
Rookie mistake.
Well, he makes a lot of mistakes. Antonio Brown is a notorious piece. He's not a very good dude. Last year for the All-Star game, he went to, I think the All-Star game was in Miami last year. He went down there. He hired a personal chef for $40,000. Just didn't pay the dude. Kicked him out of his house when the guy requested payment. It was just like, yep, no, leave. So, and the thing is, he's just a multi-millionaire. I don't get it. But what are your thoughts on the whole situation, Andre? Give it to me. Let's hear it. Break it down.
So I kind of have, I guess, a different point of view
on
the situation. Because I'm seeing the way the reports coming out and how the accusers are popping up. Because it's kind of
definitely.
It's kind of like a weird trend going on here with these types of cases. Like, all right, one person makes an accusation, then a bunch of other people start coming out,
piling
and saying,
on. Yeah.
Oh, I've been harassed, such and such. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
So,
and there is a line to walk there because there are cases where everyone is telling the truth, aka Harvey Weinstein. Or for the most part, everyone's telling the truth. But then there are also cases where somebody just wants a little bit of fame or money, and they're just trying to get it at somebody else's expense. So you never know until all the facts come out, and I'm not passing judgment for sure.
But the thing is, in all these situations, you can always walk away. Well, people can always walk away. I understand careers and lives are at hand and such, but if you really don't want to get this to happen to you, I'm not saying you can't. There's some situations you just can't avoid, but you can always walk away or get out the room.
Yeah,
because you don't have to sit there and take some of this stuff that people are doing to you. It's just like, say I'm at a job that I hate, and I still stay there, and I keep coming home and complaining. Yeah, I can always leave.
I certainly think it's suspect that his trainer left his employment and then came back to it 3 months later or 6 months. There was like some time frame where she was no longer employed by him and then came back to his employment. And if you're claiming these harassments were something you didn't enjoy, then there's no amount of money to me that's going to get you to come back somewhere that you didn't enjoy working to begin with. Especially if you're claiming that they were sexually harassing you. I mean, that's just crazy to me for her to say that there were sexual harassments that took place, then she quit, and then she came back. I just like that. That's wild. If you're being sexually harassed somewhere, don't go back to that place for sure. And I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but also the fact that this is a civil case and not a criminal one at this point is interesting to me because that means she's aiming for money or something else that she thinks is equivalent to whatever damages she suffered, and she either has no proof or doesn't want to make it criminal because there's no gain in it for her. Only,
or she doesn't have good enough proof.
Yeah, or good enough proof. Yeah, I don't know what it is. So there's only like one thing we can do as bystanders, and that's sit and wait. And I mean, this will continue to come out. You know, it's something that's interesting to me as a Patriots fan, definitely, and the whole world, considering our current culture of the Me Too movement and all of that. You know, believing women, that kind of thing. We all want to believe women, but we got to see. You know, it is something that at this point allegations are equal to a guilty conviction, and I just don't like that. I want to see more proof before we convict and that kind of thing. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know what to make of this situation. None of us are judges. We're all just college kids in a room recording a podcast. But, I mean, we're allowed to have opinions. So,
well, before we step off of this, though,
go ahead.
It's like it's interesting that it's usually like the person that accuses and it's false. Nothing happens to them.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
like
know.
After that happens, everything goes quiet. Mm-hmm. And the build-up is like, oh, they're blaming the guy that's being accused. Mm-hmm. But then afterwards, when the situation is not guilty or it's a lie, then nothing is said after that. No explanations, no other trials. Like, it's like you can just basically accuse anybody out here and say, hey, he did this to me.
Yeah, exactly. And have no proof of it. And
it's a trial.
Yeah, there's a trial. And
And that kind of leads to the damage between relationships between men and women. Because nowadays, as a man, I can't even think about complimenting a woman without having to think about, I might go to court.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, and then also there are guys out there who want to take it further than a compliment. So, I mean, it's just, I hate it because it's like, I just wish everyone could understand that, like, you know, there are boundaries you can't cross, and there's like, but I'm not trying to come at you wrong by saying, hey, I like your shirt. You know, I just wish that everybody could get along, you know. World peace would be nice. That would be a wonderful day. But I understand what you're saying, man. That's definitely, it's just a touchy time right now, especially with social media. Everyone can get a lot of people whipped up into a frenzy over a whole lot of nothing. And that's the way it is with like the cop videos that come out all the time. Half of the time, I feel like the cop video is only half of what's happening in the situation. And then there's 3 pages down in the comments, the whole rest of the video, and it shows like the police officer being kind and nice first, and then it getting farther and farther and progressing, and then it ends up going wrong. And it's like, oh no, this all went terribly wrong. But I mean, it's just something that we have to deal with. And next week we're going to talk about the commercial with the backpacks and the shoes and all that it's been going around Twitter recently. But yeah, there's just a lot to talk about with the whole touchy climate we live in nowadays. And I'm sure this Antonio Brown thing won't be going away anytime soon, so we'll hear more on that soon too.
But it seems like nobody really wants to actually talk about it. It seems like
I know,
and no response, just attack.
That's true, yeah.
And you can't say anything without somebody attacking you because they're not trying to understand you. They're trying to really just argue with you because they think they're right, or they're trying to promote an agenda. Mm-hmm. And what you're saying may go against that agenda, even though it is true. They still want to promote that agenda by saying, no, you're false and here's why, when that's actually inaccurate information.
I'm just a big believer in facts. Like, facts are, if you can't argue something, you can't argue it. People still try, but if there's a factual recording of something, you can't argue. So we'll see what comes out on that. And then, but like Sean Oakman, do you remember him, the big defensive lineman from Baylor? He was like 6'9". There was the meme of him wearing like his half jersey, and he had like the big crossed face mask, and he's standing there, and he's a 6'9" tatted up guy, and he's got an 8-pack of abs. He was going to the league, and he was accused of rape at Baylor, and his allegations were at least proven to be questionable at best, but most likely false. And it cost him his spot in the league. It cost him a first-round draft pick. It cost him everything. And, you know, I can't help but feel for the guy. He worked hard to get to Baylor. He worked hard after losing his job at Penn State and going to Baylor. He worked hard to get to the league, and he lost it all. So, you know, there's just so much wrong out there right now. It's hard to find the right.
Do you think this is the reason kind of like relationships aren't really viewed and acted as the same as they used to be because of stuff like this going on?
Oh, no, I don't know what's the deal with relationships, man. I mean, my relationship is so different from most nowadays because from the very beginning, I was not afraid to post my fiance on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. She wasn't afraid to post me. Like, our lives became one pretty much instantly. It was kind of love at first sight, not to get all mushy, but like we kind of fell in love with each other right away. And, so we were just not afraid to post each other. And to me, the whole idea of like keeping it so secretive is really dumb. You can be private, but like dating somebody for 2 years or something like that and not having a single picture of the two of you together to show for it is so bizarre weird to me.
Yeah.
And the amount of people I know who do that, it blows my mind. Like, I'm like, oh, what does he look like? I can't show you a picture. Why?
I don't have a picture.
We don't take pictures together. Why? He doesn't like to. Well, then he's with like 12 other girls who he's not taking pictures with either, honey. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't get it. Like, at least one. Y'all can have at least one on date night. You know, show me at least one picture of you and the dude. Like, I just don't understand that whole culture of like hiding a relationship. You can be private without hiding.
Because people are hounds, man. And people get really nosy when
that's true.
Relationships. So
oh yeah, no, I get. That's why I'm saying I get being private, but what I don't understand is like a 2-year committed relationship and y'all don't have a picture together. That's what I'm saying I don't get, because like if y'all are supposedly air quotes committed to each other, you should have at least one picture together to show for it. You know, cameras are on everything nowadays. So I get wanting to stay private. You don't have to post them everywhere or anything like that, or even let people outside of your friends know. But just the whole thing of like, oh, are you guys dating? Nah, we're just talking. Well, do you go out together? Yeah. Well, then, I mean, you're at least dating, not to put labels on anything, but you're at least dating because you are actively going on dates together. That is the act of dating. So like you are, but you know, it's just weird to me because I claimed my fiance from the very start. She claimed me from the very start. It was just not an issue for us. So.
All right. So just one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'm not thinking about getting married anytime soon.
Yeah.
So what your advice to any young people that are thinking about getting married?
People are going to tell you, you know, you're too young, and we have no date set yet. She's just wearing a really expensive ring at this point. We don't have a date set or anything like that. We're waiting until I graduate, save a little money, and then we'll set all that up. Plus, we're not sure how many people we want, any of that, you know, and that's a stressful thing, and I just want to finish my senior year without that on my plate. But her grandparents weren't doing well. Both of them are having health issues right now, not to get too much into it, and they both mean a lot to her, and I just wanted them to know that she was taken care of, and I knew she was the one for me. I'm not out here fooling around. I've got no worries on that end. I know she's not either, so I was like, you know what? I mean, if I know she's the one for me, and we already live together, and we're already having a wonderful time, just like even going to the store is fun with her, there's no reason not to just go for it. I mean, don't rush into anything. We've been dating almost 3 years now, and I proposed after 2.5. So don't rush into anything. But if you really know the person and you really know yourself, like you figured out who you are as a person at this point and you know yourself, and you think she's going to say yes, like, I mean, go for it. And if you're the girl and you think he's going to ask and you know, you're getting nervous, just stop and ask yourself, like, could I wake up next to this person at 65 and still be excited to go start my day? And if the answer is yes, then you know. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, am I going to one day want to sit on a porch and not talk to this person because we're just watching a sunset, but like their company is enough? If the answer is yes, then I think go for it, you know? And if you're not one of those people that wants to put labels on it, you don't have to get married, but don't be afraid to move in together. Don't let any of that stop you, because I mean, stigmas are going away every day. You know, like the whole stigma of moving in together premaritally is not good in the eyes of many people. But I mean, we're just like, who cares? I mean, we spend all of our time together anyways. Why would we pay 2 rents? You know, let's just share one. So that's pretty much my advice. Just figure out who you want to wake up next to when you're old. And that's pretty much all I've got for it. You know, so find that person, Andre. Get cracking.
Listen, no.
Andre told me he doesn't like being touched, human or animal wise, because I brought my puppy today, and he was like, I'm not a dog person. And I was like, why not? He was like, I just don't like being touched. I was like, that's fair. You know, that's fair. So.
Listen, man, everybody got their own things about them that they just don't like being happened to them.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. You know, I was like, so I shouldn't give you a shoulder massage. He was like, I might hit you. I was like, you know what? That is fair.
At least he didn't say he'll definitely hit you.
Yeah.
He said he might.
Yeah, he said he might. He might. So, yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be it for today, probably. We'll hang out after for a little bit, talk about some beats possibly, see where we get from there. Thanks for joining us today. I don't know how to exactly officially close this out, so somebody else is going to have to for me, but have a good one, everyone.
So you have heard Andre, John, and Alex on the Peace Talks podcast. And if you want to reach us, you can follow us on Instagram at, I still can't remember.
The Peace Times.
The Peace Times.
On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the above.
All right, Snapchat, all that. YouTube.
Get at me.
Spotify,
Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
So wherever you get podcasts, wherever you got social media, search the Peace Times. We will pop up. And you want to hear more podcasts, just keep tuning in, like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that. Tell your mom, your grandma, your dad, your brother, your sister, anybody else who wants to listen to podcasts, everybody.
Everybody.
All right, and this is the end of Peace Talks, and we're out.